Best Electric Vehicles Manufacturer BEVM, is the leader in the electric vehicles industry and is well known for continually trying to find new technologies that would enhance the performance of their vehicles. The engineers of BEVM recently developed a new technology that would revolutionize their electric vehicles by allowing the lithium-ion batteries to last much longer. However, these enhanced batteries have a risk of cell rupturing, if overheated, or overcharged, and that's why these batteries should be acquired with a fail-safe circuitry that shuts down the battery when its voltage is outside the safe range. BEVM plans to launch their new version of EVs within the next 3 months. For this purpose, they need to buy the equipment necessary for implementing the fail-safe circuitry as soon as possible.
Good morning, Jennifer. I heard that you were looking for a firm that supplies electronic equipment. I suggest that you buy them from A to Z Electronics. They are a good company and I think they have what you are looking for.
Thank you, John. I will look into that.
John, an IT specialist at BEVM, took the opportunity to suggest A to Z Electronics, which is a company owned by his sister. Given the time constraint, Jennifer, the purchasing manager, thought that it would be best to buy from A to Z Electronics. The deal was done and the engineers at BEVM received their packages and started implementing the fail-safe circuitry on the enhanced batteries.
Hello, I am Danny, the quality assurance engineer. I want to inform you that we are not yet done with testing the batteries and we need more time to make sure that all batteries are ready to be used.
Well, we already said the date of our launch and there is no possible way to delay. The board of directors wants the big launch to be on time, or else we will lose the trust of our enthusiastic customers and look bad in the media. Try to figure out what you can do. If you cannot finish your tasks on time, then maybe BEVM is not the place for you.
Danny was worried that without proper testing there is a small chance that the batteries would fail and might cause the vehicle to explode. However, Danny was afraid of losing his job. So, he thought that if he could test only a small sample of the batteries it would be enough to determine whether or not they are safe, since that's the only way to finish on time and avoid losing his job. 1 year after BEVM launched its new enhanced electric vehicles, a customer reported that his battery swollen and caught fire. Luckily, he managed to escape and got away from the car before it exploded. The man lost his car and 2 people were heavily injured. A lawsuit was filed against BEVM and the court of law is investigating to determine who is liable for this accident.
Let's wrap up what we have seen. When John suggested buying the electronic equipment from A to Z Electronics, which is a company owned by his sister, there was a conflict of interest known as self-dealing. Technological enthusiasm and human well-being were 2 conflicting engineering ideals in our case. Although engineers and scientists should have the innate desire to discover and implement new technologies, however, human well-being is what we all want and what engineers in particular should preserve. This value or ideal is extremely important. Anything that engineers design or create should be motivated by a desire to promote human well-being. Therefore, in our case, Danny and the managers at BEVM should have been more concerned with human well-being and safety. It seemed as if the management's only concern was meeting the set launch date and the success of their objectives. The project manager wanted to follow the schedule and pressure Danny to complete the testing phase in a short period. He ignored the fact that this is a new technology. Moreover, they followed the engineering as a societal experiment approach instead of the precautionary principle, which increased the risk associated with this new technology. The main impediments to responsible action in this case were the misinterpretation of the criticality of the situation by the project manager, and him pressuring the QA engineer to do the testing in a short time. The lack of a safety organization that is involved directly in taking important decisions. On the other hand, Danny should have been more professional, even if he was pressured with time and even though the project manager stood in his way, he must have displayed an active responsibility and stressed more to the management on the criticality of the issue and the importance of the testing phase. When Danny thought that testing a sample of the batteries is enough to determine if all batteries were safe, he made a rash generalization fallacy, since a small sample is not enough to assume all batteries are safe. He should have insisted on testing every single battery even if this would delay the management's plans and even though this would cost him his job. An ethical engineer should always make sure that all his actions comply with the NSPE fundamental canon, hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public. It is clear here that both BEVM and A to Z Electronics are accountable for the accident, as they were both involved in the manufacturing of the EVs. In this case, we can't solely blame Danny or the project manager, or even the engineers at A to Z Electronics. They all did something wrong and we can only blame the collective. This is known as a problem of many hands. Finally, let's have the court determine who is liable. Both Danny and the project manager showed recklessness in their actions which put the public in danger. Moreover, the negligence and recklessness of the design engineers at A to Z Electronics might have contributed to the accident, if the failure is caused due to the low quality of the equipment bought from them. This requires further investigation. Thank you.